Polls Truther kicks off this Bears mailbag. I'm Harrison Graham. Could the Bengals become sellers and trade Trey Hendrickson? And if so, should the Bears pounce? So Cincinnati's at 3-5. They're only a game and a half out in the wild card right now. The AFC, like the NFC and the AFC, are actually a lot different this year. The NFC is less top heavy but more deep. The AFC is more top heavy and less deep. So Cincinnati's far from out of it. And they play the Patriots this week, so unless they lose that game, which would be a stunner. Actually, they don't play the Patriots this week. They already lost the Patriots, so not sure who they play this week. But if they win, I'd be shocked if they sold. If they lost and fell to 3-6, maybe that changes things. The Bengals, the Raiders, I knew it was a bad team. So if they lost to the Raiders, yes, maybe they would sell. But if they win, get to 4-5, I doubt it. But Trey Hendrickson, if you remember, before the draft, requested a trade. He wants a pay raise. He's got 1 year left on his deal. He's having another dominant year, 7 sacks in 8 games, 15 QB hits. So he's very, very good and would be dominant opposite of Montez Sweat. That'd be a great duo. He is under contract through next season. Any team that trades for him would take on $16 million for next year, which really is not that bad. I'd be comfortable giving him a pay raise, like a 2-year extension or something like that. So I'd be interested. I don't know what it would cost. I would guess the Bengals would want a 1. I don't know if I'd be in the business of trading a first-round pick right now, but he's pretty damn good. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's see how Cincinnati plays this week. Should the Bears trade for Trey Hendrickson? Type T for trade or P for pass. I'd be interested. If it was not a first-round pick, I'd for sure be interested. If it was for a 1, I don't know. Ask me after this week. DeJounte Perkins, if Pete Carroll or Bruce Arians were willing to unretire, would you have any interest in hiring them as a Flus replacement? I don't think so with Pete because he's a defensive guy. They should have hired Bruce Arians way back when they hired Mark Trestman. They chose the wrong guy there. I think he's over the hill too, though, so probably not. I don't really want an older guy. Like, the only way I'd want an old guy is if, like, and it's not going to happen because they're having a better than expected year. But remember going into the year, people were like, maybe this is it for Tomlin in Pittsburgh if they underwhelm. Well, they're 6-2. But, like, that would be a guy, and even he's in his 50s. He's not that old. So, I'm not that interested in Pete Carroll or Bruce Arians. DC Viper, after I heard the Flus presser, I am convinced he is unqualified to be a head coach for any team. How can Poles honestly still continue to stick with this guy? Well, I think it's one of these things where Poles and whoever made the call to give him a 3rd year, they're not going to pull the plug 7 games in. I got to imagine there's maybe alarm bells is strong, but there's some concerns for the higher-ups at Hallisall this week based on the coaching decisions, first and foremost, on Sunday, and also some of the comments since the game took place. That would concern anybody, I would hope. But as much as I'm down on Flus, and as much as I wanted to replace him last year, even I don't want to fire him this second because I don't know if firing him right now helps you right now, and I'm still not punting on this year. Now, you lose this week and then lose to New England. Like, if you lose to New England in 2 weeks, fire him because you're done. Like, that would be unacceptable. But, I think it's one of those deals where they're just going to play this year out and see what happens. Hit that subscribe button. The time to subscribe to Bears Now is right now because we're in the middle of a season. Lots to go in terms of games. Still 10 more games on the schedule. Big one this weekend against Arizona. We're trying to get to 107,000 subs. Join the family here at Bears Now by Chat Sports. Reggie Banks. When do we begin to hold Caleb accountable for missing so many first-half passes? It's a weekly thing. I don't think it's a weekly thing. It's been a road thing, for sure. The 3 weeks prior, he was completing 74% of his passes. So I'd have to go chart every pass, but I highly doubt he's missing every first quarter throw. Now, they've been slow starting in the first quarter, and he's certainly to blame or holds some blame for that. But when you complete 74% of passes over a 3-week period, I don't think it's a weekly thing, but it's definitely been an issue on the road. Feels like he's a little amped up in these big road environments. Like Houston, he felt amped up. That was also his second start, so that's one of those deals. Washington coming home. I know he downplayed it publicly, but you got to imagine the juices were flowing there. He was a little amped up. Took a while, settled in, played well in the fourth. Like, I'd rather him finish strong than start fast, but you got to do both. So, Yeah, I mean, it's certainly something we're watching is for this team to get off to better starts, and that includes Caleb. Christian, is this the biggest game of Flus's career? I mean, probably, right? Now, I don't think it would be the most meaningful win of his career if he got it. It's more of the biggest game of his career in the sense of if he loses again on the road, like the noise is only going to get louder. Like it's not going to get quieter. Like I don't know if he's ever needed a win as much as he does right now. The closest I can think of is Washington last year when they started 0-4 at Washington. There was real thought like if they start 0-5, they might just blow it up, and they crushed Washington and at least rallied to have an okay season last year. This is a massive game. I would say this feels up there in terms of you need to stop the bleeding. I know it's only one loss in a row, so it feels weird, but it's just the way it happened, the comments you made, the way you came out of the bye week, you need to go beat Arizona. And if he doesn't, it's going to get loud, and it's going to get loud fast. All right, Prize Picks, today's sponsor of this Chicago Bears Now mailbag is Prize Picks, daily fantasy made easy, where you can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. The way it works is you pick lineups of 2 to 6 players, regardless of sport, as long as it's at least 2 different teams. Football, basketball, baseball just ended, but you catch my drift. Hockey, esports, other sports as well, fighting sports. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Code is CLNS to get a $50 bonus once you play for just $5. And your lineups are simple. You just pick players and you choose more or less on their stat projections. Caleb Williams, more on his rushing yards this week. Kyler Murray, more on his rushing yards. 5 to win 15. And if you're a new customer, sign up with our link and code CLNS. You're going to get a $50 bonus sent straight to your account when you play for just $5. How awesome of a deal is that? Doesn't matter if you win or lose that entry, you're going to get the $50 bonus. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS. Pick more, pick less. It's PrizePicks. Link is in the comments and in the description of this video. Cranes make gains. Who will have a big game this week? I keep guessing wrong. How about this? DeAndre Swift, because he's been the steadiest player for a month now. It's kind of funny. He went from your worst player offensively to your best overnight. Bizarre. He's been awesome. He's been your best offensive player for a month. So I'll say DeAndre Swift. That's a guy who's making plays both in the run game and the pass game. Luke Clark, do you think the Bears are good enough to make the playoffs? It's a tough question to answer. I thought the answer was yes before last week, and not even that they would make it, but I thought they had a good enough team to make it. NFC is tough. It's deep. Division's hard. Hard to say yes right now. Beat Arizona, especially if you beat them somewhat convincingly, you could turn this thing back around. So it's gut check time. I'll say that. This is a pivotal game if you want to be a playoff team. Fill in the blank and pick a side. The Bears should blank at the trade deadline. Should they buy or should they sell? Or if it's both, just type both in the comments below as well. B for buy, S for sale. Sell. And if you have names you have in mind, drop those too. John Orticelli, give me the Bears starting O-line this weekend. Well, we're filming this mailbag on Thursday, and based on Thursday's injury report, this could be the unit this week. Larry Borom at left tackle because Braxton Jones didn't practice. Karan Amagaji's not going to play this week. Matt Pryor, he will be one of the guards. It's just a matter of which one. If you keep him at right guard, that means it would be either Doug Kramer or Ryan Bates, who could get activated off short-term IR. He's been limited this week. If you move him to left guard, that would be to put Nate Davis back in the lineup. Coleman Shelton will stay at center, Darnell Wright. So Shelton at center, right at right tackle, for sure. Those two guys are in there. Pryor's going to be in there somewhere, whether it's right or left guard. And I would guess at this point, pretty good chance Larry Borum's your left tackle. YY Prods, we should be buyers, 100% make a championship push by a quality lineman and get Zadarius Smith, Khalil Mack, or Jadeveon Clowney. We have 2 second-round picks. Polls, use one on Claypool. Try going all in. See, I don't think this is an all-in year. That doesn't mean I'm not down to make a big trade. But I do want it to be for a player who's under contract for multiple years if you're going to use big capital. By the way, Clowney's not a big splash. He would just, Zadarius Smith, the report is they want a day 3 pick. So I'd take either of those players, but that's not changing the direction of your franchise. But, yeah, I mean, I'm down to buy or sell, quite frankly. But if you're going to buy big, it needs to be for a player who's controllable. Joaquin Garcia, do you think the Commander fans are overreacting to Jaden Daniels' amazing Hail Mary? Probably a little, but they also deserve it. Like, that's an all-time moment for them. They've been a joke for a long time, and you don't think we'd be doing that as Bears fans? I mean, we almost stole that game. Think about how much we would have been partying had we finished that game off in a game we shouldn't have won. So, sure, maybe it's a little overreaction, but it's also like they're 6-2. They're feeling good about themselves. I don't blame them. Caleb Robertson, my boy. Happy early birthday, Harry. Appreciate that, Caleb. Going to go hang out with Caleb and our friend Dylan tomorrow, play some Top Golf as I turn 31. I'm getting way too old. So shout out to my guy, C-Rob. Appreciate that. And I'll see you tomorrow, buddy. All right, DMs are open. If you have any Bears questions, didn't get them answered here, at HGramNFL, Twitter, Instagram, it's wide open. Appreciate the love and the support. DMs are always open if you want to hit me up over there. I'm also tweeting about the Bears, posting about the Bears on IG as well, so hit me up over there.